Exertus.
Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarian.
You should come with me to the end of the world without telling your parents and your friends.
Join us on another exciting adventure of Exertus.
Now, my videos do go on and on, so there are some things that I will skip to and some things I will save for next time, but I do want to introduce some things about Royal Rife and sound healing, because we've toyed with the thought, but it's becoming more and more pervasive, more and more certain that this technology, this medicine, this strategy to keep one healthy will be important. Before I get too deep into my spiral of information, just remember 741 Hertz and go look up some 741 Hertz music. We've already talked before about how mosquitoes fear the frequencies from the sounds of bats. Similarly, dogs hear frequencies that unnerve them that humans can completely ignore. There are a number of different frequencies that can be useful, and it might be intimidating to begin looking for them. 432 and 444. 396 is pretty amazing and useful for letting go of fear and guilt and negative blocks, but beyond that, I think we're getting to a point where we need some serious medicine, so let's talk about 741 Hertz. Now, to introduce a bit of technology, Histosonics is a company out of Michigan using sonication and ultrasonic transducers to produce frequencies, essentially sounds, which can kill cancer. There's already been some interesting evidence that tumors and viruses can fight each other, and that viruses can be used themselves to kill tumors. However, the concept of using sound has long been thought of, in sonication specifically, particularly the use of sharply increasing the strength of focus by pulsing the waves, creating a pulsing effect that can destroy at a cellular level. And currently, frequency vortexing, that is to say, particular sounds played rhythmically in order to produce, beyond sonication, fields of bubbles that expand and collapse, and when these bubbles are mechanically fractured, causing the tissues and cellular structures to mutate or shatter. This technology is interesting because it's already been proven to work on larger things such as cancer, and there's amazing responses between the human immune system and the response of the viruses themselves to sound, in a manner similar to electromagnetism. In some circumstances, the viruses themselves shut down completely, as if becoming inert, like baked seeds that cannot grow in the ground. These sound waves therapies have been tested in Johns Hopkins, Stanford, and at Carnegie, as well as in Europe and in China. Ultrasounds or MRIs used for visualizations have been shown the subtle changes from sonication, as well as the possible effects of medicinal placebo, that is to say, conscious optimism in medicine, something also often associated with music and positive sounds. Now, a lot of people have been talking about preparing for this already by saying you should only listen to music that's in 432 Hertz. Some of our friends have been releasing their music in 432 Hertz to make sure that they're at the human frequency, something that can be healthy and not harmful. There's even a music app that you can download to convert all of your music to 432 Hertz. And though it's not perfect, I recommend it because you can actually tell the difference. Beyond simply preparing at this point, in terms of actual combative medicine, the frequencies that are being used are known as the 12-tone equal temperaments. which were introduced into Western culture around the 1600s. The healing frequencies that we're introducing are known as the Solfeggio Frequencies and constitute the ancient 6-note scale, which is believed to have been used in sacred music, reputed to be the original frequencies of the Gregorian chants. Based on the 6 pure tonal notes, these spiritual Gregorian chants and their special tones penetrated deep into the consciousness and subconscious mind, and indeed the body, usually drawing strong emotional reactions, and perhaps protecting against sickness. These original frequencies appear to have been lost over the centuries with the introduction of various new tuning methods. However, many of the healing codes have been found around the world, and the Solfeggio frequencies were essentially rediscovered in the mid-1970s by Dr. Joseph Palaio, a physician and one of America's leading herbologists. Dr. Palaio claimed to have intuitively guided to examine the Book of Numbers, the 4th book of the Hebrew Bible, and the 4th of 5 books of the Jewish Torah. In chapter 7 of the book, between verses 12 and 83, Dr. Palaio used a Pythagorean method of reducing to the verse numbers and uncovering a pattern of 6 repeating codes. According to Dr. Palaio, it revealed a series of 6 electromagnetic sound frequencies, which corresponded to the 6 missing tones of the ancient Solfeggio scale. These supposedly rediscovered tones, 396 Hz, 417 Hz, 528 Hz, .639 Hz, .741 Hz, and 852 Hz. All 6 of the found so-called Solfeggio frequencies are said to have specific healing effects as they interact with the vibrational energies of the human body. According to David Holz, with over 50 years of experience with sonic therapy and a pioneer in the field, Solfeggio tones have the following properties. 396 Hz has the intention to liberate, turning grief into joy, liberating guilt and fear. 396 Hz frequency aids in the process of liberating you from the tremendous burden of guilt and fear, which often represents one of the basic obstacles to realization. The 396 Hz tone, thus, enables achievement of goals in the most direct way. .417 Hz seems to invoke the intention of change, undoing situations and facilitating change. 417 Hz frequency allows you to enhance one's mind's ability to undo damaging situations by cleansing traumatic experiences and clearing destructive influences of past events, and facilitate conscious and subconscious change to something positive in your life. 417 Hz is pretty good if you need to clean your room. 528 Hz reminds of the intention of transformation and miracles, repairing DNA. 528 Hz is the love frequency. It is quite mysterious, but it has shown to facilitate the process of whole being transformation and even stimulating DNA repair. It is also said to activate one's imagination, intention, and intuition. The 528th Hz tone on the scale is said to derive from the Latin mira gestorum, which means miracle. – 741 Hz. The tone that's today in question often is associated with the intention of expression of solutions, cleaning, and solving. 741 Hz frequency can open up emotionally closed or blocked individuals, liberating their vital abilities to express themselves. The 741 Hz tone leads into the power of self-expression and identity, which results in a purer, more stable, and healthier life. Purified consciousness is essential in the body's civil war against disease and paranucific awarenesses. The 741 Hz tone can be used at a psychic level to develop intuition and sixth sense. The final 852 Hz tone is described as having the intention of intuition, returning to spiritual order and awakening intuition. The 852 Hz frequency helps in raising awareness and has shown results in giving greater access to spiritual experience and transformation. It can be used as a mean for opening a person up for communication with all-embracing spirit. Using this system, there have been found many other frequencies, and at least 3 additional frequencies are worth mentioning: 174 Hz, 285 Hz, and 963 Hz. 174 Hz appears to be a natural anesthetic, and it seems to reduce pain physically and energetically. An interesting frequency to experiment with. 285 Hz influences energy fields, helping tissue to return to its original form. It also leaves one's body feeling rejuvenated and energized. 963 Hz awakens any system to its original perfect state. This is an interesting concept for this frequency. Could perhaps enable one to remain young or to experience the oneness of perfection and true nature. You decide. Now, using these frequencies amongst many others, there are chakritic frequencies that you can focus on, and there are applications such as Gnarl Beat, spelled Gnaural, an open source binaural beat generator that I've been using for well over a decade. But in school, they had us wear headphones. Studying the work of German experimenter Heinrich Wilhelm Dove, who in 1839 discovered that illusionary beats could be perceived when pure tones of slightly different frequencies were separated and simultaneously presented to each ear. Dove's insight was to realize that since there's no acoustic mixing of the tones, the perceived beats must exist solely within the auditory system, specifically that parts within the process of binaural sound. Research into binaural beats continued, and the subject has been viewed largely as no more than a scientific curiosity. Oster viewed binaural beats as having both value for pure research and as a diagnostic medical tool. In terms of research, Oster felt that binaural sound could be used to explain features of human auditory system, how we locate sound spatially in our environment, and selectively single out individual sounds from background noises. Medically, Oster saw potential not only to directly diagnose auditory impairments, but to identify surprising ranges of seemingly unrelated medical issues. The claims of the capacity for binaural beats to influence the mind are extremely controversial, of course. And whether or not this technology is simply placebo, or that it could be used for some nefarious purpose. It seems a tool available, and if one knows the correct frequencies to use, quite an interesting instrument. And now I've gone off on my tangent, haven't I? Okay, so most important thing to get out of that, listen to some 741 Hz sounds. The tones are available on YouTube, I'm sure. You could also download the app and make your own. But do that and see if you feel better, or never feel bad at all. Or never feel bad at all. It might be a shot in the dark, but it's cheaper than a flu shot.
This program is coming to you via Relay 2 satellite, a spacecraft orbiting the Earth at a speed of over 17,000 miles per hour.
Resonant.